Hi, TRANSITIONAGE family. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching us. We are back. We are back. It's been a while, but we are back. And we've come with a story of someone I know very well. I think the first time I met her, she was about 14 or 15, but I saw a very beautiful young girl. So I've known her for that long, and now she's a graduate, she's a lawyer, she's a minister of the Word of God, so she really has a lot to share. So stay tuned and let us take on this. Welcome, Abigail.
Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you so much for allowing to come and feature on this show and inspire these young people out there.
Privilege.
Wow, wow. So, guys, what I'm talking about, I know it. I know what I am talking about. She has a powerful testimony. She's been through a lot, and today is PK episode. So she's going to speak her PK side as a pastor's kid. Somebody last time said it's not planned kid, but pastor's kid. So the pastor's child, we really want to show you what happens in the life of children of clergy, of children of pastors. Society has expectations, and we have a reality, and so that's why we bring these stories. So, who is Abigail?
So praise God. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very honored to be here. My name is Abigail Ima Magilsi Kana. Yeah, I'm 27, turning 28 this month.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mother. I'm a lawyer. Um, I love God. That is one thing that I pride myself in. I thank God for that chance He gave me to know Him. I love God. I love people in the sense of I love to see right things done by people. So that is what drove me to my legal career because I wanted everyone to have a chance to experience justice, to experience fairness.
That's for sure. And by the way, the standard, for us to think lawyers are liars, that's a profession a Christian should not get into. So you really can tell us a lawyer who is a Christian, what is that for us, the people out there who don't know what it is?
A lawyer who's a Christian, one thing people should know is that the first lawyers were actually reverends, which is a very special thing to me because I'm a reverend child. So knowing that my legal career was even rooted in the calling that my father occupies was a confirmation in itself of who I'm supposed to become. So being a lawyer, it's not about being a liar. In the even God, they say God is a just God. So if you're a Christian lawyer, you are executing the justice of God. You're not lying, you're not cheating, you are executing justice. Because there are both sides to law and bad sides to law. Yeah, but God's law for it is perfect.
We shall get there.
Yes.
First of all, what was growing up like?
Growing up was beautiful. I cannot say growing up was happy. No, growing up was beautiful despite it. I was born in 1997. I was born in Kenya, and at that time, my father he was in the university with a bachelor. So I think it was the year he was completing like a master's in evangelism of Christian education in Besta. So my biological mother was a Tanzanian, and
East African baby.
yeah. So God connected them together. I was born in Kenya shortly after my father was a missionary. So he went to Tanzania and we grew up in Tanzania. So I speak Swahili and I didn't know for a very long time that I was a Ugandan. Yeah, for me, of course, I met people who would like when I was growing up, they called me Name. So I met so many Tanzanians who couldn't pronounce my name, who would be like in class, and they'd be like, Nima, like, you know what does that mean? I'd be like, yes, you're my people.
You're supposed to know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you're my people. But I didn't understand that I'm a Ugandan in the sense of my father is Ugandan. I learned it later on when I was older. I think when I was around before, that's when it really hit me that, oh, I am actually not from this country. So you can imagine, I grew up knowing I'm Tanzanian, I speak Swahili very fluently, and I love Tanzania. Up to date, I love it. Yeah, I was born, I have I have three elder brothers, I have a little sister, and life in Tanzania, it was beautiful. I had a beautiful childhood. I was blessed in the sense that my father being a reverend and my mother being a Christian, they had a stable marriage. And you know, when two people have a stable marriage, then they tend to have a stable home. So we grew up in stability. We grew up in that spiritual covering. We grew up happy kids as children, and I really thank God and I thank my parents for that. Because being a mother now, it makes me realize that the importance of stability. It makes me look back and I was like, God, that's so blessed to have this.
It helps a lot actually in the upbringing of the children in such a setting.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like when I'm counting my blessings, that's a
That's one
blessing
of
I
them.
can count. That my parents knew God, they valued marriage, they had a stable marriage. I never had them, even when they disagreed, they were always respectful and this mutual respect, not, oh, my mom is only respected that. No, like I used to see this love of dad brings her flowers. This love that even African kids don't tend
In
to
the
see.
movies.
Yeah, the love of good morning kisses and Valentine flowers, that kind of love happening between your parents and that kind of laughter, that's even laughing. I have captions of that in my mind. So I believe right now being a mother and a wife, I believe that gave me it put a foundation in my subconscious. The
What
kind
marriage
of
is
family,
like.
yeah, marriage is like and my expectations for it. Yes.
So in Tanzania, you were in Tanzania up to which class?
I was in Tanzania up to primary 5. Primary 5, that is, I think the time we used to visit Uganda, like prior, but visiting of like a week and then we come back. Yes, we went back to Tanzania. But primary 5, my father decided it is time to shift us, to relocate us to like join school in Uganda because he trusted the Ugandan education system. So that's when we moved here. But we didn't move permanently. Yeah, we used to go to school and then go back home. Mom.
Okay, mom stayed there.
Yeah, mom stayed there and then we lived here. So we studied P5 and P6. My brother was in a higher class. I was in the same class with my
The elder
elder
brother.
brother. Yeah.
Wow, wow, that is wonderful. So you study up to you finish your P7. I would like you to speak about, I don't know whether at that level you can say something about being the pastor's kid and what society expected of you, or at a higher age, that's where you look at the pressures of society and you are. Say something about now a pastor's kid and societal expectations.
Well, being a pastor's kid, I think the first time it really hit me that, okay, you're a pastor's child is when we moved to Uganda. Because then I found a very different culture. And one of the cultures that really I found that made me face judgment for the very first time was the kneeling culture. Because I came from Tanzania, yeah, and then I come to Uganda, and then there was this expectation that I have to kneel for people, to greet people, and there were children who were born and raised doing this, and I wasn't. So I absolutely refused. I was like, no, I am not doing that. And that is the first time I had, even a pastor's child, and you're not humble, and you're not what? So that really hit me, because then I was like, do you mean I'm even a pastor's child? I'm not a child. Exactly. Like, I'm just a kid. But I think that is the thing that really introduced me to that society judgment that really a pastor's kid, And then P5 primary 6, that's when our family was hit with a very big tragedy. That's when because my mom got pregnant for my little sister, and during birth she got complications that led to her death. So I think that time I was at primary 6. It was primary 6, around second term. So imagine you're in a whole other country. You have left your mother in another country. We left her pregnant, and I remember the last time we saw her, she drove us to the airport, and she waved goodbye, like she talked to us, make sure you do. That advice, motherly advice, be strong, I'll call you here, I'll do this. And then she waved us goodbye. We were like going on the plane. So when we stood on the board, when we looked back, she was like, that? Exactly. And that was the last time we saw mom. Yeah. So the next time we heard about her that called, the mama's given birth. We were so excited. After like a week, maybe 8 days or 9, they come and pick us up. So we thought we are going to see our little sister. But unfortunately, they tell us she's a mom. So now that was tragedy. That is not pregnant. Yes, I knew then in the sense that someone died and nothing can back. I didn't know the spiritual sense of it. I didn't know how grief feels, because like I said, God bless me this childhood. I had never experienced grief. I had never experienced loss. You get from childhood. So these were very new and strong emotions that just hit you like red death hits a family. Yeah. So I just understood when they told me mom has passed away. I just understood that she'd never ever come back. And and then she died giving birth, which was very confusing to me, because it's like she's bringing life. So I was like, how does that happen? I didn't know the whole pregnancy thing, because I was the last born at the time. So I didn't know what pregnancy. I didn't know pregnancy can kill. Like not pregnancy, like a woman die bringing a baby forth. So that hit me like what? Yeah. So that tragedy, that was like something that unlocked a new thing in my life. Like
Had lots of
questions. So I developed a kind of fear for life, because I knew you can lose life. You can really lose life. And then I feared. I was young, but I feared not taking the world without mom. Because I felt like you always have mom. Please, mom, I don't know how to do this so much, mom. I have mom. And me being a girl, I always connected. I related so much to mom. Mom, the way she dresses. Mom, the way she does. Mom. And then now there's no mom. just that. So it was very heartbreaking at the time. And I remember my father at that time. That is when I also realized that I got this sense of, okay, there is something special and different about what my father does. So, like, he's not like a doctor, a surgeon, or a lawyer. He's a reverend, and with it, there is growth. Because I saw the little hand of the whole situation. He was calm. He was calm. He was so trusting of God. Because I remember he was, for him, he was in Tanzania with one, and we were in Uganda, so it's my uncle who had to take us to Tanzania. And when we arrived, he was strong. And we arrived at night. The morning was the funeral. Yeah, it was the funeral service. And then we go to church, and it is my father leading praise. Yeah, it is for him, knowing him now, that his
That trust
for
in the
him.
Lord, yeah.
He had this deep trust because I remember that also triggered a sort of, yeah, it triggered a sort of maturity in me because I sat in that funeral. My mom was in the coffin. My little sister, my auntie was holding my little sister. She was 2 weeks old, and my father was leading praise. So I looked at this like, is he feeling what I'm feeling? I kept asking myself questions. Then I looked at mom. He I was trying to process that if my father is feeling what I'm feeling right now, and he's doing that, he has exactly
something in him that
yeah
is beyond
that is
normal.
beyond normal. But also, I felt like he is using a lot of strength. So in my childish mind, I said he is using too much strength to praise. I need to go and support him. So I moved from my seat and I went and stood next to him. For me, that at that time I felt like that's what I could do for him. Yeah. So I went and stood next to him, thinking I'm supporting him, but I was the one who was so emotionally broken down. But I felt like I need his strength. But he also needs me support. Let me go and stand next to dad. He will be strong and I will also be strong. So we did the praise and worship together.
So coping after the loss of your mom, now after that, um, did it affect now how you live your life after, or life went on normal and you were able to take one day at a time?
Well, at first, life seemed like it was normal because I felt like everyone was moving on. You see people around you moving. There were people during the funeral, they are crying. After that, everyone goes to the phone. And then you feel like maybe something just. And usually, I think understanding grief now, I don't think that in our culture as Africans, we invest a lot in processing grief. I think we have a system of just push it on the side, push it down, and be strong. You know that word be strong, it sounds encouraging, but it's really not practical. It's not practical. You can't,
It's okay to break, it's okay to
exactly.
give it time.
Yeah. So after the burial, when we were ready, we came to Uganda, then we go to school. We did. And I think going to school, I, that was the first time I realized I started not liking school because I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be somewhere else processing what I was feeling. I felt like all this doesn't matter. Like in school, it doesn't matter anymore because that bubble that I was, that blissful bubble now had popped, and now I was seeing that The world is not,
There's no point.
yeah, it's not black and white. It's not this joyful pink world that I was living in. I started realizing that there are some really, really painful things you can experience. So I felt like everything was school, teachers, and teachers are so insensitive. They feel like you're a child. You just
to go with others.
exactly go with others. No one had this. No one could counsel you. You're a child. You don't know how to put your feelings into words. So maybe you react by anger. So maybe the teacher is telling you something you don't want. You react angry instead of them realizing, okay, they're just kind of acting out because they're a child. The emotions are also children. They're children inside. They're not just children physically. They're children in their heart. So I felt like teachers weren't very sensitive to that. And I grew up in Tanzania. I wasn't being caned so much. Then when I came to Uganda, it was like every wrong thing you do, they just beat you. And I was not used to being beaten. And that thing made me very, very like thick skin. Yeah, like I developed thick skin. And I think when I look back at my image, I realized that I come from a village of very rebellious teenager. So at that time, I think I had not yet realized that I had that rebellious tendency in me because they would beat me. Tell me they would beat me, and I'd still stand and be like, I am not doing it. And I'd still be like, what is wrong with this? Yeah. And I feel like the worst you could do to me is kill me. Because now I had this experience with death that I felt like the worst can do to me is kill me, and if they need to kill me, that's when my mom is in me. So that's how I felt as a child. So I didn't care. Yeah, that's pain. I felt like it can't hurt me as much as my mom dying hurt me. So bring it home. I will not change my position, and you will not hurt me as much as you think you can. So I had that at that time of the primary. But I went to do primary seven. I remember that school, they beat you. You fell they just beat you. There was no it was no counseling. Baba, Omana, let us go to the child, or let us call their parents, or let us no way, they'll just beat you to this.
Oh my God, now you get into that age, you finish the seven and you're going to secondary, you're around 12, right? Yeah, that teenage age, you're getting into an age where actually you need uh, to speak to mom about now certain things growing as a woman, this transition, that this thing is happening to me. How did you cope with that without the mother figure around?
I think around primary seven, entering senior one, my father had, because he was a marriage counselor, and one day he tried so much to feel that even though he understood that he wouldn't be as competent as a mother would be, but he tried so much to build this relationship with me where I could tell him that I need hugs, that I need this, I need makers. Like up to now, I'm not sure to tell my father, my cramps are hard to. You get like we built that relationship where I wasn't embarrassed about periods, menstruation.
You tried really to.
Yeah, he tried so much because even before my mom passed away, he had already put that strategy in his family that I want to be able to talk to my children about certain things openly. Because I remember when my mom was still alive, he actually talked to us about sex, and we actually knew like what sex means from a very young age.
Young,
So
actually.
yeah, like we've been in class and we didn't have this talk of wana baba gulam supermarket. No, we had the whole raw picture. We knew exactly what happened, and we understood the whole concept again. So from that relationship, I think it was very smooth to transition to him being the only person to guide me in that journey. Yeah, but also primary seven, end of primary seven, I think during holidays, my my father gets married to my mother now. Oh, yes, and that in itself was another blow. Yes, because then I was like, so mothers can be replaced.
I know.
And
Usually it doesn't go well.
it didn't go well. It didn't go well because I looked at this lady and I was like, now you first of all, she was obviously she was completely different from my mother. And at that time I was missing my mother. So when this person comes in the picture, it was confusing.
Feel like they're taking your mom's space.
Exactly.
I know.
It was so confusing because for me, because I was missing my mother, I wanted to relate to her as a mother. But again, when I was related to her as a mother, she's not the one I want to relate to as a mother. So it was an emotional roller coaster where sometimes I'm happy with her, then because the illusion is there, and then sometimes it hits me and then I get angry. And she wouldn't understand, Mama, why is she acting weird? But she became a reminder of what I was at that time. And I thank God really for the wisdom He gave me because He was very patient. You know, it's
I understood the situation.
yeah, He was very patient, but he became very strict in the partner getting next. You know, one thing he did is he first sat us down and made us understand that even if he gets a partner, it doesn't mean the other life is erased. It exists. You can still talk about it. You can still relate to the family that you relate to. You can never change who your mother was. So he kept
relatives on that side actually.
exactly. So he kept the memories alive. He kept that part of us alive and made us understand it, even though at the time, of course, it was hard to take in. But also made us understand that we don't have to live in this tragedy. Okay, mom, yeah, and then we live in it. That it is okay to move on, and maybe even mom wanted us to move on, and because first she would have wanted us to be happy. So that constant talking to us also helped us kind of open our hearts and also guide you. Because many men make this mistake and maybe a wife, their wife, they think of a partner for themselves. But it's not for them. Exactly. Yeah, sometimes the partner you have loved is not the right one for you. So my dad, I think he had the
Knew how to balance.
yeah, yeah. And when she came into the picture, it was difficult. I had my brothers. I think at the time my brother was also in high school. He was going through his own thing.
He had shared it.
Yes, he was going through his own thing. I was also going through my own. We were all in trying to just figure out how we go through this. But this lady comes to the picture. She's a Christian lady, and one thing that God blessed her with is she loved to make a home. So when she finally understood that, okay, these children, we're not trying, they're struggling with something, and you're not just going to come and impose on them. What she did, she focused on making a home. And we had kind of forgotten what it felt like to live in a made home, a home where you have this mom has put in stress, exactly, and then mom passes away. So we had kind of forgotten that setting. And then she brings it back together, the setting of routine, or someone has cared, have you eaten breakfast? Where are your clothes? And I think that kind of started to heal us in a way, because we started to realize that even if the world is not black and white, there is still love.
Yes,
And we didn't expect someone who wasn't biologically our mom to pour such motherly love to us. You get, because you've been protected by your mother. You know she's the only one. Now this woman comes and she didn't have kids of her own, and yet she poured this. She mothered me. She really, maybe she really put in effort. Even, she didn't try to be mom, which is also what we thanked her for. She didn't try to become herself. She became herself.
Those are version of love.
Her version of love, of homeliness, and structure.
Yeah. Wow, that is wonderful and it is good. Now, I actually there's something I'm noticing. I hope you people are also noticing that she's intentionally, and if I remember well, even the brother when I hosted him, they intentionally avoid the word step mom. It's an English word that means the person married to your father and does not mother you. It's not a wrong word, but them avoiding to use that word expresses something, right? It expresses who they feel this person is. It expresses uh, what she is and what they are to them. And I've told you I know this very well. So I know where all this is coming from. So yeah, thank you so much. I think we are going to take a break. I know you people don't like this break. Yeah. We are going to take a break. She really has a lot to tell us. And we shall be right back to go through her story. And I think she's going now to start for us when now her teenage life that comes with all these changes, the bodily desires, the physical and emotional changes in life. We shall start from there. We shall be right back.